They call it the Devil's Triangle, a stretch of ocean that has swallowed ships, planes, and even people without leaving a single trace behind. The Bermuda Triangle, one of the most mysterious places on Earth, has haunted human imagination for more than a century. Located in the North Atlantic Ocean, between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, this seemingly peaceful stretch of water hides stories that defy logic, science, and time itself. Our story begins not with modern ships or technology, but with a single disappearance, the kind that would give birth to one of history's most enduring mysteries. In 1918, a massive U.S. Navy cargo ship called the USS Cyclops set sail from Barbados, carrying over 300 men and 10,000 tons of manganese ore. The ship was one of the largest in the Navy fleet, a steel giant impossible to miss. Yet somewhere between Barbados and Baltimore, it vanished. No SOS signal, no debris, no oil slick, just gone. It was as if the ocean had opened its jaws and swallowed it whole. To this day, not a single piece of the Cyclops has ever been found. That's when whispers of the cursed sea began. Sailors told tales of strange lights, sudden storms, and compasses that spun wildly without reason. But the story didn't stop there. December 5th, 1945. 5 U.S. Navy Avenger bombers, Flight 19, took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on a routine training mission. The weather was clear. The pilots were experienced. Everything was normal. Until radio communication broke down. "We can't tell where we are." "The ocean looks strange. Nothing seems right," said one of the pilots. Moments later, silence. The Navy sent a massive rescue plane to find them. But that plane vanished too, along with all 13 crew members. Men disappeared that day. No wreckage. No black boxes, nothing. The Bermuda Triangle had claimed yet another mystery. From then on, the legend exploded. Magazines called it the Deadly Triangle, and writers described it as a portal to another world. Scientists, skeptics, and explorers all wanted to know what was happening in these waters. Could there be a scientific explanation, or was it something beyond our understanding? Let's go deeper. When you look at the Bermuda Triangle on a map, it forms a vast area covering nearly 500,000 square miles of ocean. That's larger than the entire country of India's coastline. And in this massive zone, hundreds of mysterious disappearances have been recorded, from ships as large as the SS Marine Sulphur Queen to private planes that simply vanish from radar mid-flight. What's strange isn't just the number of disappearances, it's how they happen. Planes vanish mid-communication. Ships are found drifting with no crew aboard. Compasses suddenly point true north instead of magnetic north, confusing pilots and sailors alike. Some ships have been found with their engines running, meals still on tables, and the crew missing, like the sea simply erased them from existence. So what's really happening here? Scientists have offered several theories, some logical, others mind-bending. The first and most accepted theory is magnetic anomalies. The Bermuda Triangle is one of the few places on Earth where the true north and magnetic north align, causing compasses to act erratically. A small error in direction here could send a ship or plane hundreds of miles off course. Combine that with unpredictable weather, and disaster becomes almost inevitable. Another explanation points to methane gas eruptions beneath the sea floor. In 2016, researchers discovered massive methane hydrate craters near Norway's coast, similar to what may exist in the Bermuda region. When methane bubbles rise to the surface, they can drastically reduce the water's density, making even the largest ships lose buoyancy and sink instantly, leaving no trace. But what about the planes? Meteorologists have identified something called hexagonal clouds, powerful air pockets that form hurricane-force winds over small areas. Satellites show these clouds can appear suddenly over the triangle, creating winds of more than 170 miles per hour, capable of flipping aircraft or smashing waves high enough to sink ships. Still, even with all this science, there's something deeper about the mystery, something human. Throughout history, Sailors have described seeing unexplainable lights hovering above the sea, strange green glows beneath the water, and sudden walls of fog that swallow ships whole. Some pilots have reported electronic malfunctions, time distortions, and radar readings that show them flying through nothingness. In 1970, a pilot named Bruce Jernan experienced something no one could explain. While flying from Andros Island to Florida, he encountered what he described as a tunnel of clouds, an electric fog that seemed to bend time itself. His plane's instruments went haywire. For what felt like minutes, he was surrounded by pulsing light, and then suddenly, he was above Miami. According to radar logs, his 90-minute flight had lasted just 47 minutes. Half the time vanished. To this day, Jernan swears it wasn't weather, it was something else entirely. And then, there are the darker legends. Some say the Bermuda Triangle hides remnants of the lost city of Atlantis, a civilization with technology beyond human understanding. They believe crystal energy buried deep underwater interferes with navigational systems and draws ships to their doom. Divers exploring the Bahamas have found strange geometric formations, walls, steps, and roads beneath the sea, which some call the Bimini Road. Scientists say it's a natural formation, but believers insist it's proof of something ancient, something waiting to be rediscovered. There's also the UFO connection. From the 1950s onward, countless witnesses have claimed to see glowing disks rising from the ocean in the triangle, bright objects that move faster than any known aircraft. In one case, a U.S. Coast Guard crew reported chasing a circular light that shot straight into the sky and disappeared. Even the U.S. Navy once logged unidentified radar blips over the region that couldn't be explained. Were these alien crafts, secret military experiments, or just tricks of the atmosphere? And yet, for every supernatural story, there's always a rational voice. The U.S. Coast Guard officially states that the number of disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle is no higher than in any other heavily traveled region of the ocean. They attribute most cases to human error, weather, and navigational mistakes. Still, the mystery refuses to die, because logic can't explain everything. Why did ships vanish mid-transmission? Why did pilots see glowing fogs and lose hours of time? And why, after decades of searching, has no trace of the USS Cyclops or Flight 19 ever been found? Well, one thing's certain. The Bermuda Triangle continues to capture the human imagination because it represents something deeper than mystery. It's about the unknown, the part of our world that refuses to be measured, calculated, or fully understood. Every time a plane disappears from radar or a distress call cuts off mid-sentence, humanity is reminded of its limits, that no matter how advanced our satellites, maps, or machines become, there are still places where nature, or perhaps something beyond nature, remains in control. Even today, new stories emerge. Fishermen report seeing giant whirlpools appear out of nowhere. Pilots encounter strange magnetic pulses that make their instruments blink and reset. Some say they've seen ghost ships drifting silently across the horizon, only to fade away when approached. But maybe the true power of the Bermuda Triangle isn't in the danger. It's in the wonder. It makes us question reality, pushes us to explore, and keeps alive the spirit of curiosity that drives all human discovery. Because sometimes, it's not the answers that matter, it's the questions that never fade. So, what do you think? Is the Bermuda Triangle a deadly stretch of ocean haunted by ancient forces, or just an overhyped myth fueled by human imagination? Maybe the truth lies somewhere in between, deep beneath the waves, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover it. Until then, the triangle remains what it has always been, a riddle written by the sea. And if you love mysteries like this, don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might just challenge everything you think you know about our world.